YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back with some more NFL offseason breakdowns. We're going to take all the big trades as of today and, give our winners and losers from each of these trades. Maybe there is no loser. Maybe there is no winner. We're just going to break them down. Let's go way back here. We're going to break down a lot of these big ones. Way back to Alex Smith. Welcome to DC.
Welcome.
So, Alex Smith, let me get the trade details here. He was traded to the Redskins for Kendall Fuller plus a third-round pick. I'll start. If there's a winner of this deal, it's going to be the Chiefs, I think, because they were going to get rid of Alex Smith. And anyways, they end up trading him, getting a third-round pick and a solid slot corner in Kendall Fuller.
I agree that if we're picking a winner here, obviously the Chiefs win this because I think the big part of this is that third-round pick.
Yes, I agree.
But I like Alex Smith in D.C.
Well, I don't think the Redskins are really a loser because they
didn't get bad. They didn't get worse.
They were going to lose Kirk Cousins anyway, so they kind of had to get somebody. Mm-hmm. Maybe they didn't like the draft class where they were picking. So I'd say if I had to pick a winner, it'd be the Chiefs. But the Skins they're not really a loser. On to the next trade, we'll go to the Marcus Peters. Keep it with the Chiefs. Marcus Peters was traded to the Rams with a 6th-round pick. And the Chiefs got a 4th round and a 2019 2nd-round pick. Now, pretty easy to pick a winner here. I'm going to go with the Rams winning because they get a top-tier corner. Maybe not the best corner in the league, but he's up there. And they get it. Was that necessary to get a 6th-rounder with him? But at first, I thought it was the Chiefs were a big loser, but I didn't really realize they got the 2019 2nd-rounder. That's somewhat valuable. But I don't know if that would call them a big-time loser, but the Rams definitely win this deal, in my opinion.
No, yeah, the Rams win this deal, and with that 2019 2nd-rounder, the Rams are going to be good next year.
So they don't need it.
They don't need it, and the pick's not going to be that good. It's going to be a late 2nd-rounder, which is a good pick, but I thought they were going to get way more from Marcus Peters.
Yeah, I originally thought they were going to get way more, but then I saw it. I thought they only got a 4th, so I'm a little more relieved that they actually got a 2nd in the next year out of it. But we're in agreement. The Rams are the winner. On to the other corner trade. It was Aqib Talib. Aqib Talib was traded to the Rams as well for a 5th-round pick from the Broncos.
Nobody offered more.
Yeah, nobody offered more.
Same with the Peters deal.
I have a winner and I have a loser in this one. The Rams win. The Broncos lose. A 5th-round pick, really?
I even like the last one, the Marcus Peters and this one. I am shocked.
This one's worse than the Peters one because at least they got a 2nd-rounder
but
and
I'm just,
a 4th-rounder.
I'm just so shocked nobody offered a better, more or a better deal. I don't understand. I think they could have got a better deal for Talib.
Yeah, so 5th-rounder is not much. The Broncos are still trying to contend, obviously. Their defense gets worse here. So I have a winner and a loser. Winner Rams, loser Broncos.
Same here.
Next one is going to be Michael Bennett. He goes to the Eagles along with a 7th-round pick. The Seahawks get a 5th-round pick and Marcus Johnson. Who? I know, exactly. There's a winner and a loser on this one. The Eagles are the winner. The Seahawks are a loser. We mentioned before we're not really sure what the Seahawks' plan is. Bennett's still playing at a high level. The Eagles' defensive line just got better somehow with Bennett, and they only had to give up a 5th-rounder. And much like the Rams, they don't need the 5th-rounder.
Yeah, no, I agree. They don't. This was an instant upgrade to what already was a great D-line.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just see they won it. Eagles obviously won this,
and the Seahawks lose it.
Well, the Seahawks, I don't even want to talk about them. I don't even want to address them by name anymore.
Okay. Alec Ogletree. He goes to the Giants along with the 7th-round pick. The Rams get a 4th-round pick and a 6th-round pick. So, I got a winner.
I don't.
You don't have a winner at all?
Mm-mm.
Actually, it's tough. Nobody's a big winner here. Nobody's a giant loser. Kind of just in the middle. But the linebacker class is pretty good. The Rams don't really need anything else but linebacker and pass rush. So with adding the 4th and the 6th, they can afford to get depth in those positions and use their earlier picks on a linebacker. They also obviously have their sights set on a linebacker early. Maybe a Rashaan Evans, maybe a Leighton Vander Esch. So I like the Rams. I like what they did. I did like Ogletree, though. They did cut cap space, so if I had to pick a winner, it would be the Rams. because they want to upgrade linebacker, younger linebacker to fit their defense, and there's a good linebacker class. So the winner would be the Rams. I'm not going to say the Giants are a loser, but the Giants kind of needed to keep those picks maybe, so I don't really agree 100% what they did, but I do like Ogletree. He's not a bad player.
I think that the only reason why I would lean away from the Giants here is because they, like you said, needed picks going into the. They
don't have a whole bunch of depth.
Yeah, if anything, they're that team that needs to go into the draft with more picks.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I would take the Rams on this side.
So the Rams are just winning deals over here, aren't they?
I think they just realized they can contend right now.
Another Rams trade. Let's go to it. It's Robert Quinn. He goes from the Rams to the Dolphins. So the Dolphins only get Robert Quinn. The Rams get a 4th-round pick and a swap of the 6th. That's really not that important in this. Basically, Robert Quinn for a 4th-round pick is what we're looking at. I'm actually going to go with the Dolphins winning this one because I think Robert Quinn is for sure worthy of that 4th-round pick. They need a pass rush. Not a ton of great pass rushers you'll see in the 4th round. Robert Quinn's definitely worthy of that, like I said. So I like the Dolphins winning this one. The Rams kind of opened up some holes in that pass rush / linebacker position, which, as we discussed just a little bit ago, they can go and do with the draft picks. But so the Rams aren't a big loser in this one, but I definitely think the Dolphins are the winner.
No, yeah, I would agree. I think that the Dolphins, again, this is one of those trades it's very close. There's nobody that lost huge or won big, but I'd say if I had to pick a winner, it's Miami.
All right, we're just on the same page here.
I have a feeling we're not going to be pretty soon here.
Okay, Jarvis Landry. Yeah, we're getting to the good ones now. Yeah. We're getting going. Jarvis Landry. What were the details on him? The Browns get Jarvis Landry. The Dolphins get a 4th-round pick plus a 2019 7th. They had to make sure they got the 2019 7th there.
Yeah, I think
there's a winner and there's a loser. The Browns win. Dolphins lose. Dolphins are a huge loser because I guess they were apparently going to lose him anyways. He wanted to go. They got something out of him, but really a 4th-round pick?
I think, again, how did they not get offered more? I don't understand. I already liked Cleveland's receiving unit.
I mean, the Dolphins are playing. Some teams play it like this, some teams don't. But maybe they're playing it like the Browns aren't going to be ever a threat to us, in their opinion. So they don't want to give him to like a Titans or the Ravens in the AFC, where they're going to be better than them if they get him.
Yeah, but Cleveland's receiving core is scary now.
Yeah,
it is scary. I already liked Gordon and Coleman. Now you throw Jarvis into the mix. Wow.
Yeah. So obvious Browns win here. On to the next one. Another Browns trade. Tyrod Taylor. So, the Browns get Tyrod Taylor. The Bills get a 3rd rounder. Now, I have a big winner here. And I don't know if I want to say it's a loser on the other end, but let me just go in. The big winner is actually the Bills getting the 3rd-round pick. Tyrod. They didn't like Tyrod. He's pretty good. He got him to the playoffs, but they didn't like him. They were going to get rid of him anyways. I'm surprised they got as high as a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, I'm in the same page because I like Tyrod to the Browns, but I thought the Bills were going to cut Tyrod.
Yeah, if they trade him, I thought it'd be like a 5th at the best.
How did they snake a 3rd?
And the Browns, did they really need to trade a 3rd? I maybe it's a little much, but not going to call him a big loser there. But the Bills win. They got something for nothing in their eyes. Not that I think Tyrod's nothing, but. That's what their view was, what their plan was. It worked out. The more Browns trades. DeShone Kizer from the Browns to the Packers. Demarius Randall from the Packers to the Browns. There's some swap of picks involved. Not important. But I got a winner and a loser here. Not a big loser. But my winner is the Packers. My somewhat of a loser is the Browns. And I'll tell you why. Kizer, ton of potential. Not a great season last year. Ton of potential. I like him back. Huntley obviously didn't look good. They gave him the test run there. Wasn't good. Kaiser's he's gonna end up being good probably, most likely. So Randall, I'm not a big fan of Demarius Randall. The Browns needed DBs, but they just drafted. I know different front office. They just drafted Kizer pretty high. I think he's got potential. I don't like Demarius Randall. Like you watch him. You watch him last year, he's like afraid to tackle, or he runs back. He's one of those defensive backs that runs downfield with the guy. Like he runs with them. Yeah. I hate seeing that. I mean, he's not bad. He can make good plays on the ball when it's in the air. He's good in coverage. Sometimes I feel is he a safety, is he a corner, is he a box guy? I'm not really sure. The Packers need upgrades. That they kind of made it a glaring hole at corner now, even though it was a pretty big hole. Maybe that's the downside, but they saw what I saw. They didn't really need Randall. They want different guys, better upgrades, and then they got a good backup quarterback out of it.
I'm going to disagree. I think that the Packers, it's again not a huge winner, not a huge loser, but the Packers, I think, get the edge. Or not the Browns, I'm sorry, get the edge here. And I like Demarius Randall. And from what I understand, the Browns have plans of playing him at the safety position.
Okay.
And that's what he was drafted as. And the Packers kind of made him play out of his element at corner. Not, very similar techniques and whatnot, but he's going back to what he's comfortable playing. The only thing that I just don't, Demarius Randall, didn't he go at it with Josh Gordon last year? There was a whole little Twitter fight between them two, so that's going to be kind of awkward. But
they'll be fighting in practice.
Yeah, but there's they're teammates now, so I don't know. I just like Demarius Randall.
Well, there you have it. Another Browns trade. Danny Shelton. Danny Shelton goes to the Patriots along with the 5th rounder. The Browns get a 2019 3rd rounder. I didn't really like the Patriots offseason with their own free agents losing them, but I think they win this deal. I think Danny Shelton was a top pick. He's a good player. Hasn't really lived up to that hype. But he's a good player. Patriots needed him. And they gave up a next year 3rd rounder, and they also gain a pick for this year with a 5th rounder. So it's like they swap 2 rounds and gain a pretty solid player. I think it's a no-brainer the Patriots win this. I know the Browns want to go in a different direction, maybe a little different style. So it makes sense. Not a huge loser, but if I had to put a winner-loser on it, Patriots win, Browns lose.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Patriots got better here. But again,
I would think it made more sense if it was Shelton for a 2019 3rd rounder, but it was Shelton plus a 5th rounder for a 2019 3rd rounder. So I think that's the difference there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They're up to something in Cleveland.
They just like the trade. It's fun. On to the next one. Trevor Siemian, Broncos quarterback, gets traded to the Vikings. So it's Siemian and a 7th round pick to the Vikings for a 2019 5th round pick to the Broncos. I think both teams win here. I know just a loser. I think the main thing, I'm going to have the Broncos as a winner if I have to pick one, but the main thing what's good for the Vikings is they desperately needed a backup quarterback. Siemian, you look at all these backup quarterbacks, how much money they're getting for backup quarterbacks. He's only owed $1 million this year, so it's a cheap backup quarterback that has starting experience. And at first I thought they were going to lose a draft pick. They didn't lose one. They just kind of swapped, and they actually gained one from this year, but they lose a 5th rounder next year. But they still have the same amount of picks as they did before this trade. Also, something interesting, somebody compared Siemian versus Keenum's stats before Keenum was on the Vikings, and they're very similar. Siemian's actually better statistically wise. So if he gets the chance, which we don't expect him to, does he end up being the next Case Keenum? But the Broncos win because they get Case Keenum, who's better. They're going to draft one, so Siemian wasn't going to see the field, and so they basically gain a 5th rounder next year. Even though they lose a 7th rounder, it doesn't really matter. They gain a 5th rounder, so I think the Broncos just got something free almost.
Yeah, I think Broncos win this deal. I understand that the backup quarterback market was not huge this year. I just don't get it on the Vikings end. But again, they got to do what they got to do. They needed that backup quarterback who has a relatively cheap deal.
Yeah. That's the main part. I mean, you're going to go out and sign, I don't know who's left. I'm a fan of Geno Smith. I don't know how he's still left, but, I mean, what would it cost to get a guy? It would cost more than $1 million.
No,
so,
yeah.
I mean, Siemian with starting experience, but even though we don't expect him to start, yeah, I think the Broncos win, but it makes sense on the Vikings' part. On to the next one, another former Viking. No, not yet. We're going Jason. I thought we were on to Cordero Patterson. We're on to Jason McCourty here. Cornerback from the Browns going to the Patriots. So the Patriots get Jason McCourty and a 7th round pick. The Browns get a 6th round pick.
A little brother duo?
Yeah. Not a big winner here, not a big loser, but if I had to pick, Patriots win because they get a corner depth, get the brothers together, and they didn't lose a draft pick. They moved down a round.
I think that's the key. That's why I'm saying the Patriots win this.
The Browns were going to cut them, though, anyway, so they moved up a round for free. So, I mean, I guess both winners.
Yeah.
Fine with me. Now we're on to the former Viking Cordero Patterson and former Raider. So the Patriots get Cordero Patterson plus a 6th round pick. The Raiders get a 5th round pick. I think the Patriots, I didn't really like their offseason, but they're winning some trades here. I think they win this trade. I think Cordero's a dynamic player. He's very good. He's the best kick returner in football, in my opinion. And they don't lose a draft pick. They swap from 5th to 6th. I think it's a steal. The Raiders obviously didn't fit what Gruden wanted, but really, you're just gonna swap some picks, I guess. Interesting thing here too. The Patriots traded a pick to the Vikings, which the Vikings drafted Cordero Patterson, so the Patriots had that pick. And even more interesting, Randy Moss went from Vikings to Raiders to Patriots. Cordero Patterson, Vikings, Raiders, Patriots.
That's very.
I'm not trying to say he's the next Randy Moss.
Yeah, I don't know what you're
I
trying
could
to
see
say
him
over
being very good on the Patriots. Get a little running back action maybe, like he did in Minnesota.
He's going to be. I think this is what he needed. He needed this kind of. I wouldn't say he had an off year, but it was not the same kind of production and same. He wanted a bigger role. Went to Oakland, got a bigger role.
He's going to tear it up probably in New England. I love this deal.
Yeah, he's
New
going to
England
be
wins
amazing.
this one. Definitely wins this one. All right, let's go on to the draft-based ones here.
Uh-oh.
So, Bills and the Bengals had a trade. The Bengals get Cordy Glenn, offensive lineman, 21st overall pick, and a 6th round pick. The Bills get 12th overall, and a 5th round pick. So basically, they swap first rounders. The Bills move up from 21 to 12. Bengals get Cordy Glenn. I mean, you got the rundown here. I'm going to say the Bills win this deal. I don't think the Bengals lose either, though. I think the Bengals also win this deal, but it's not as big as the Bills did. The Bills, no secret, they wanted to move up. They go from 21 to 12 without giving up draft picks, really. They didn't lose a draft pick. They actually went from 6th round to 5th round, too. That's a factor there. They got a 5th round out of this, even though they gave up a 6th. So you look at the Jets going from just 6 to 3. They gave up a ton of picks. They just gave up a Cordy Glenn, who is a good lineman. It's hard to find developed linemen. But they cut cap while doing it. They were able to sign other guys in free agency. Really, I'm a fan of the draft. They go up all the way to 12. Makes so much sense to me. Bengals, though, it's not really a loss because they still stay in the first round and they get a starting lineman, which they desperately needed. They lost all their linemen in free agency last year. I don't understand the 6th and 7th rounder. The Bengals get the Bills 6th. The Bills get the Bengals 5th. Was that necessary?
I don't know.
That's what I don't get. But so the Bills are the big winner, but the Bengals, I understand it. You could give them a win as well, but the Bills are the big winner.
I gotta agree. I think I like what the Bills are trying to do here. I like that they're, as far as I don't think they're shy about the fact that they need a quarterback. They want a quarterback, and they're going after this quarterback in this draft. I think they have their eyes on somebody, to be honest, because they're making trades, and I don't think they're done. Not even close.
I don't think so either.
So
I don't think the league's done. We're going to see madness on draft day.
I can't wait.
All right, we got one more, I think, here. Yeah, it's the most recent draft trade, which was very surprising to me. So the Colts get the 6th overall. They move back from 3 to 6. They get 2 of the Jets' second rounders for this year, and they get the Jets' 2019 second rounder. The Jets get number 3. I know you actually discussed this in one of our other free agency videos, the offensive winners, and you had the Jets as a winner for quarterbacks. You think they go up and get their quarterback. Now, I mentioned I'm going to have to disagree with you strongly on that, and here, this is where I make my case. I finally get to do it.
Can I just say my case before you just rip
go
on
ahead.
me? I just think that the Jets, I like any team that's aggressive
to get their guy.
They got a guy,
but
let's go get him.
That's where I'm going to prove you wrong.
This is crazy how much they're giving up for this. But if they land the quarterback of the future, I don't think there's any.
But not
price.
to take anything away from the Colts. You do like what the Colts did, though, right?
I think the Colts on the Colts end, that's a good move. The Jets, who you think would be the loser, but if they end up getting that franchise guy, you can't say they lost.
I think they lost.
Let me hear.
It could change based on what they get, but it could end up because they got lucky. But let me break it down. First, the Colts are a huge winner. I mentioned, if you watch my 7-round mocks, I don't know how many times I said it throughout the video, the Colts are the number 1 team that needs to trade back. I said every single year, there's a team that we say this team needs to trade back. There's like an average team. The Colts were no average team. They needed to do it. They're probably the biggest one of all time that needed to do it. I expected them to do it, but I expected them to go down around maybe 12. They moved 3 spots back, got 2 second rounders this year, got a 29 second. That GM deserves. I don't know what he deserves. He
Nice
deserves. And their guy was Bradley Chubb at 3. We think they may get him at 6. I'm not going to speculate, but they may get him at 6. It could be just ridiculous. So the Colts win. But that's. I didn't even get into it yet.
Uh-oh.
You said that you like the Jets going up. You like it because you like when teams go up and get their guy.
Mm-hmm. That might be a little biased.
A little biased? No, it's fine. I understand it. Because the Bears, your team, went and did it. Trubisky.
Mm-hmm.
When did they do it? When the Niners, were on the clock. Because they knew Trubisky was there. They knew they had to go get him. The Jets do it a month before the draft. They don't know who's going to be there. That's my biggest problem. So,
the top 2 teams.
I heard they tried to trade up to 1. So they have a number 1 set guy in their mind. They couldn't do it, so they still trade up to 3 this early. Why not wait?
There's 2 shots that guy might be gone.
Some people say, what if it's Saquon Barkley? It can't be because that's one chance. If he's gone, they're sitting at 3 like, oh, shit, we just traded up for nothing. But the quarterbacks, so the only thing that makes sense, 2 things can make sense here. They're still working on trading up to 1. They need to acquire the 3rd pick to be able to trade up to 1 because the Browns didn't want to move back to 6. But they got rid of ammo to the Colts, so I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, 3 to 1's not that big on paper, but it's very big because number 1 overall pick is worth a lot. So another option is they have even grades for, like, example, Darnold, Mayfield, Rosen. So they don't care which one we got. But as a scout, a GM, a guy that evaluates prospects, your job is to separate these guys, not just pick one, but separate them, see which one fits the best. It makes no sense to me. They could very well end up getting lucky. Maybe their number 1 guy drops. Maybe it's Mayfield. Maybe it's Rosen. He ends up having a great career. It's going to look good then. It could very well happen, but I don't like it at this time. I do not like it one bit. The Colts win this deal. The Jets gave up too much, but that's the least of it. They trade up to 3 not knowing who they're going to get. If they traded up to 1 and gave up more, yeah, fine, because they know who they're going to get.
What if this deal's made during the draft, it's at that time where, say, the Colts are on the board and they make that trade?
It's good because the Jets know.
So you're saying the timing is what makes it bad. Okay.
Maybe they feel that they're so certain their guy's going to be there, or maybe they feel they would have had to give up more if the Colts. That's another thing. The Colts were going to trade, like I said, so maybe they wanted to beat the other teams to it. I guess that makes sense. That's something I just thought of now. I guess it makes sense. But it's just kind of funny because my expertise falls under the draft. I like evaluating prospects. I just don't see myself bunching a lot of guys together and be like, all right, if we get one of these guys, great. I'm like, I like to have more picks too. So I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it, but it could end up working out for them.
Yeah, that's why I think that
unless it's just like a wild card, they're like, we're gonna trade up. Now we know he's gonna be there, but it's somebody out of left field, like it just.
Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I mean, he can go too, obviously, possibly, but this was very surprising. I literally when I first saw it, I thought it was like a joke because I just don't really see a big trade like this from like 6 to 3 or that range, a month before the draft. But the only thing I can think of is if they're moving. There's 3 things, like I said, they can move up to 1 still. Unlikely, I think, though, because they lost ammo.
Even grades?
They have even grades, or they were just afraid somebody was going to beat them in that 3 spot, which was very possible. So if that's the reason, I understand it. But if it's that close where, like, somebody's going to beat us, should we stay at 6? I want to stay. I don't want to give up a bunch of picks. If you have a bunch of even grades on guys, too, I think one might be there at 6, too. It's like...
That's tough because there's going to be so many quarterbacks taken this year.
It's just the fact that they tried to trade up the 1 before they did the 3, though, kind of gets to me. I don't know. That's my take on it. It's very interesting. We're supposed to have how many? We have the Bills and the Bengals draft trades. We have the Jets, the Colts draft trades. That all happened before the draft. What's going to happen on the draft, during the draft?
You know what I just thought about?
What'd you think about?
If the Browns were not willing to trade that first pick, they have their guy.
It could be that, or it could be they didn't want to move it down to 6.
I think it's more
because
likely they want no shot at if our guy is going to be there. We want our guy.
I think the Browns would be okay to move into 3. Having 3 and 4, they get a quarterback. If Barkley drops to 3, they take Barkley. 4, you take a quarterback. Barkley's not there. You still take a quarterback. You take a Minka Fitzpatrick or a Bradley Chubb. The only thing that if in fact Bradley Chubb was the Colts guy, the Browns could end up taking him at 4. Add him with Myles Garrett, pretty scary. So the Colts could miss out on him, but there's plenty of other defensive talent,
and they had these 2 second-rounders.
Yeah, they got along with their second-rounder. And I've mentioned before, day 2 of this draft is just gonna be fantastic. Why? Because the mid to late first round grades on the guys are really no different than the guys in the second round, and some of those guys end up dropping to the third. So usually there's a difference between the first round guys and the second round guys. This year, not really. So the Colts with 3 second round picks, A++++. Can't put enough pluses behind that. Colts, good job. If you're a Colts fan, it's gonna be a fun draft. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I agree.
I love when my team has like a lot of the draft picks, even though it hasn't been good. You don't know what's going on with your quarterback, and you pretty much need everything else. It should be fun. I like it. But that is the trade breakdown. We got plenty of other videos on the channel. Check them out. Draft coverage, off-season coverage, pretty much NFL 24/7. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That'll do it for this one. Goodbye.